നമസ്കാരം, ഞാൻ കവിരാജ് അമ്പലപ്പുഴ. എൻ്റെ ഓസ്ട്രേലിയൻ സന്ദർശനവുമായി ബന്ധപ്പെട്ട 18ാമത്തെ എപ്പിസോഡാണ് ഇത്. ഇന്ന് ഞാൻ നിങ്ങളെ കൊണ്ടുപോകാൻ ഉദ്ദേശിക്കുന്നത് ഓസ്ട്രേലിയയുടെ തെക്ക് കിഴക്കൻ തീരത്ത്, സമുദ്ര തീരത്ത് പ്രകൃതി തന്നെ ചുണ്ണാമ്പുകളിൽ തീർത്ത് വെച്ചിരിക്കുന്ന 12 അപ്പോസ്തലന്മാരെ കാണാൻ വേണ്ടിയാണ്. അതിൻ്റെ ചരിത്രങ്ങൾ മുഴുവൻ നമ്മുടെ ഗൈഡ് ഇന്ന് വിശദീകരിക്കുന്നുണ്ട്. അദ്ദേഹം ഇംഗ്ലീഷിലാണ് എല്ലാം വിശദീകരിച്ചിരിക്കുന്നത്. ഞാൻ ഇവിടെ സബ് ടൈറ്റിൽസ് ആക്ടിവേഷൻ ചെയ്തിട്ടുണ്ട്. നിങ്ങൾക്ക് ആവശ്യമുള്ള ലാംഗ്വേജ് തിരഞ്ഞെടുത്ത് ഈ എപ്പിസോഡ് ആസ്വദിക്കാവുന്നതാണ്. ഈ അപ്പോസ്തലന്മാരുടെ ചരിത്രങ്ങൾ മനസ്സിലായെങ്കിൽ മാത്രമേ നമ്മളത് കാണുന്നത് കൊണ്ട് നമുക്ക് കൂടുതൽ പ്രയോജനം ഉണ്ടാവുകയുള്ളൂ. അതുകൊണ്ട് നമ്മുടെ ഗൈഡ് ഗ്രീക്കിൻ്റെ സംഭാഷണത്തിലേക്ക് നമുക്ക് അല്പം ഒന്ന് ശ്രദ്ധിക്കാം. സബ് ടൈറ്റിൽസ് ചേഞ്ച് ചെയ്ത് ആസ്വദിക്കാം.
20 minutes to get there, 20 minutes to get down to the beach, and then 20 minutes to walk back. So around an hour to get down to Gibson Steps and back, and then half an hour up around the 12 Apostles area. Okay, so that's the 12 Apostles. Our next stop, once we finish there, our next stop will be a place called Lockhart Gorge. Lockhart Gorge has been named after a shipwreck that happened on the 1st of June 1868, and it was a ship called the Lockhart sailing from England and coming down to Melbourne. Right, so it was an uneventful trip all the way down here until it got just off Muttonbird Island, whereas the early hours in the morning, one of the sailors on watch heard the waves breaking, raised the alarm because you shouldn't hear waves breaking or crashing waves, meaning that they were close to land or close to a reef or something like that. And so the captain came back on deck. He put up more sail, hoping to sail out of the situation, but apparently that didn't work, and that sort of just pushed him closer to the reef. Then he threw down 3 sea anchors, and the anchors, because it's like a flat rock, a sea floor, the anchors didn't hold onto anything, and they just slid across the flat bottom. Anyway, the Lockhart crashed into Muttonbird Island, broke up and sank for 2 or 3 minutes. At the time that it hit the Muttonbird Island, there was a sailor called Tom Pearce, and he was preparing a lifeboat. Anyway, a wave washed him and the lifeboat into the water. The lifeboat went in upside down, and he and the lifeboat were carried inside the gorge. The only other person to survive was a girl by the name of Eva Carmichael, and she was the daughter of a very well-to-do Irish doctor the Carmichaels are coming across to Australia to start a new life. So it was Eva's father, mother, 3 brothers and Eva. Eva heard all the crashing and noise of the boat hitting Muttonbird Island. She was washed off the boat almost instantaneously. She was just wearing a night dress, nightie, and she was washed into the water, grabbed onto part of a mast, and then floated around for about an hour or something like that. Now, June the 1st here is the start of winter, so I would estimate the water temperature to be maybe about 8 degrees, 10 degrees maybe, on a good day. So Eva floated around for an hour. Tim had been washed into the gorge. Tom had been washed into the gorge. Anyway, Tom heard the cries for help from Eva, and then swam back out through the gorge, which is probably a good maybe 60-70 metres, and then out about another 150 metres, found Eva, and it took him about an hour to bring her back into the gorge, where this was sort of getting probably about 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning now. So he found a cave, and they both rested in the cave. At first light, Tom got up, got out of the cave, and then pushed a whole lot of debris that came in from the wreck against the cliff face, climbed the 50-metre cliff, walked about 1.5 kilometres into the bush like this on the left-hand side here, found a couple of stockmen, i.e. cowboys, and then came back to the gorge. Okay, so when he went back into the gorge, he couldn't find Eva because she'd moved caves, fearing that she was in danger in the cave that she was in, and so that's sort of the rescue period done. So I'll tell you more about this story when we go down to Lockhart Gorge. but at the moment we're only a few minutes away from the 12 Apostles Visitor Centre. So at the Visitor Centre, I will drop you off right in front of the Visitor Centre. There's bathrooms inside. The bathrooms outside may be open or maybe not. Sometimes they have both open, and sometimes they only have the outside ones open or only the inside ones open. But there's a little kiosk here. The whole place is run by Parks Victoria, and they finish work at 5 o'clock. So they basically shut the kiosk at 4:45, so they can run out the door at 5 to 5 and be on their way home by 5 o'clock. So at the Visitor Centre, to the right-hand side is the path that will take you to the 12 Apostles viewing area, and you'll also see another sign going off pointing to the left, which will take you down to Gibson Steps if you wish to walk down to Gibson Steps. So I was here on Friday, and it was just mayhem down here. It was packed. There were people everywhere, so because it's a little bit cooler and it's Monday, I'm hoping it's not going to be similar to that, which I don't think it will be because traffic has been much less. Apollo Bay activity was much less as well. So this is still the Great Ocean Road that we're on. So Gibson Steps, the steps that go down to the sea level from 50 metres down. The steps were originally put in the cliff face by the local farmer down here, Gibson, hence the name Gibson Steps. And that allowed him to get down to the sea level, go fishing, probably have a swim, get supplies in before there were roads and things like that down here. On the left hand side coming up here you'll see Gibson Steps as we go past in a moment. Parks Victoria have traffic management people down here making sure buses and coaches and things don't come in here. So this is Gibson Steps coming up here now, and there's a pathway that will bring you down here if you want to walk. If you want to walk down here. Now I think it's quite windy outside. Yeah, it looks like a little bit windy here, so just keep that in mind. And the pathway is sort of through there and back to the visitor centre. So this is one of the pinnacles that's here on the left. That's either Gog or Margog, which is the two on this side of the visitor centre. Just at the crest of the hill, outside the left-hand side here, crest of the hill, yes, you can see where all those people are standing. That's the new visitor centre. Took them about 5 years to build that, and that gives you great views up and down the coast, the east and west. So the little kiosk should be open. They sell sort of snacks and a few other bits and pieces. Also, there's a couple of little sort of souvenir-y type things in there as well, if you're interested in that. So the pathway to both Gibson Steps and 12 Apostles is just underneath where I've driven over now. So the visitor centre here is on the right-hand side of the bus, and I'll drop you off right in front of that. I'm always amazed at the number of people down here. It's like this. There's a sunset tour that we have, and people come down for the sunset, and it's always this busy as well. So I'll drop you off in the front. The kiosk is open. The toilets over here are open as well on the left-hand side. There are toilets inside, and as you see from the sign in front of the bus here, 12 Apostles Lookout is about, the return walk is about 1 kilometre.
നമ്മൾ ആ 12 അപ്പോസ്തലന്മാരെ സ്ഥാപിച്ചിരിക്കുന്ന പ്രകൃതി ചുണ്ണാമ്പുകല്ല് സമുദ്രതീരത്ത് സ്ഥാപിച്ചിരിക്കുന്ന അല്ല ഉണ്ടാക്കി വെച്ചിരിക്കുന്ന ആ പാർക്കിൽ എത്തിച്ചു കഴിഞ്ഞു. ഏവർക്കും ഇവിടെ പ്രവേശനം ഫ്രീ ആണ്. പക്ഷേ വാഹനം വന്ന് നമ്മളെ ഡ്രോപ്പ് ചെയ്യുന്ന ഭാഗത്ത് നിന്നും നമ്മൾ എത്തിച്ചേരേണ്ട സ്ഥലത്തേക്ക് ഏകദേശം 1 കിലോമീറ്ററോളം നടന്നെങ്കിൽ മാത്രമേ അവിടെ എത്തുകയുള്ളൂ. അത്ഭുതങ്ങളും അതിശയങ്ങളും മാത്രം അവശേഷിക്കുന്ന ആ കാഴ്ചകൾ നിങ്ങൾ അടുത്ത എപ്പിസോഡിൽ ഞാൻ എത്തിച്ചു തരാം. അതുവരെ നിങ്ങൾക്കെല്ലാവർക്കും നല്ലത് വരട്ടെ, നന്മ വരട്ടെ.